Rachel Ziegler, once hyped as Disney's next big thing, the face of their shiny new era of live-action princesses, is now smack in the middle of yet another PR nightmare. And at this point, it's honestly starting to feel like a pattern. The latest drama? Allegedly, Ziegler is demanding that Fox pull an episode of The Simpsons off the air after the show threw some not-so-subtle shade at her disastrous turn as Snow White. The episode features a biting parody of her performance. And word on the street is that Zegler absolutely lost it when she caught wind of the joke.
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension: racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just awful.
This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
She came out and she said, "I apologize. I went too far," but it wasn't sincere.
Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of I don't know, vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing, before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
But here's the thing, Fox isn't budging, not even a little. According to multiple sources close to the situation, the network didn't just brush off Rachel Ziegler's demand to pull the episode, they stood their ground like a brick wall. The response? A hard no. And honestly, you kind of have to respect the energy. Fox reportedly made it crystal clear The Simpsons has spent nearly 4 decades doing exactly this. No one, not even the biggest names in Hollywood.
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime. And let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely f***ing atrocious.
Rachel Zegler, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantata is the only global solution.
They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, 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 echo.
Controversy in Snow White. The dwarves have been eliminated in the live action.
Yeah.
Now it's Snow White and the 7 magical beings.
Wait, it's 7 and the magical beings?
Yeah,
they won't even say
magical
and the 7
beings.
dwarves?
No, because they're not dwarves. For right now, that's the only jobs that are there.
Gets a free pass from being the punchline. We're talking about a show that's roasted Tom Cruise, ripped into Lady Gaga, poked fun at Beyonce, and dragged even beloved legends like Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. The Simpsons crew has never been shy about calling out A-listers, politicians, and yes, even entire studios.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Last week was a very big week, objectively a huge week. We had quite a few announcements. It's first live-action film, which is Snow White and the Evil Queen. And that's me, I'm Snow White, which is so funny.
Now, I'm guessing that she's not married. I'm guessing that she doesn't have kids. The movie is a complete disaster, by the way.
This is a series that's built its brand on biting commentary and sharp-edged humor. To suddenly back down because Rachel Ziegler got her feelings hurt, that was never going to happen. In fact, insiders say Fox leaned into their history of unapologetic satire during the discussion. Their message to Ziegler's camp was blunt. This is what The Simpsons does. This is what The Simpsons has always done. If you can't handle the ribbing,
Doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
Nobody wants a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? The outrage.
The new Disney boss babe, who is Rachel Zegler, the inverse of...
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
maybe you're in the wrong business. Because here's the reality. If Lady Gaga can survive being mocked in animated form, if Tom Cruise can take the jabs about Scientology and still keep cashing those impossible checks, Rachel Ziegler can certainly survive a cartoon throwing shade at her box office bomb. But the bigger issue? Ziegler allegedly tried to position herself as an exception to the rule. She didn't just ask for the joke to be softened, she wanted the entire episode removed from rotation. No reruns, no streaming, gone. Wiped clean like it never happened. And that?
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Lines that they say, like magic mirror on the wall. It was a lot of fun.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie, and I believe it only made less than $1 million.
That was never going to fly. The Simpsons has never pulled an episode because a celebrity didn't like the punchline. Doing it now, just to appease Zegler, would have completely undermined the show's entire legacy of creative freedom. And Fox knows the optics. If they yanked this episode, it would set the precedent that any star with a bruised ego could just pick up the phone, call the network, and have their own personal media cleanup on aisle 5.
Broke out with this news, and I'm very, very, very excited and looking forward.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
Part of the first, fairy tale ever told.
I wanted my money back. It was very disappointing.
Disney deleted Someday My Prince Will Come and made a modernized feminist alternative.
Pretending like Rachel Ziegler is the first of them all when she looks like Lord Farquaad in the film.
Hardcore.
They're petrified of some kind of backlash.
Oh my God.
The backlash wouldn't just come from viewers, it would come from other comedians, writers, actors, and even free speech advocates. This wasn't just about a cartoon gag anymore. It was about protecting the show's right to take aim at whoever they want, whenever they want, without fear of being silenced. To make matters worse, Ziegler's team reportedly tried to frame the parody as mean-spirited, suggesting it was some kind of targeted attack meant to damage her career further. But again, Fox wasn't buying it. The producers at The Simpsons allegedly pushed back hard, reminding everyone involved that parody is fair game, especially when the subject, let's be real here, handed them the material on a silver platter. Because how could they resist? A Disney princess remake that flopped spectacularly. A lead actress who spent her press tour bashing the original story, alienating the fanbase, and stirring up headlines with every off-script comment. It was too easy. And The Simpsons, they've never been known to pass up easy. The refusal to pull the episode wasn't just a business decision, it was a statement. Fox is standing behind its writers, its showrunners, and its right to make jokes, even when those jokes sting. And the message to Zegler? Loud and clear. If you're going to play in this town, you better learn to take a joke, but instead of laughing it off, leaning into the meme, or even staying quiet, Ziegler allegedly doubled down. And that choice? That's exactly why this story isn't going away. And honestly, the timing of this meltdown couldn't be worse for Ziegler. She's still knee-deep in the wreckage of Snow White, which, let's be real, has been nothing short of a full-blown disaster. The movie barely managed to scrape together $194.7 million worldwide, a brutally underwhelming number when you stack it against its jaw-dropping $240 to $270 million production budget. That's not just a loss, that's a public faceplant on a global stage. Disney didn't just hope this remake would be a hit, they counted on it. This was supposed to be one of those guaranteed box office monsters, the kind of film that fuels merchandise lines, keeps Disneyland parades packed, and breathes new life into a decades-old franchise. They weren't aiming for modest success, they were banking on another Beauty and the Beast level smash. Instead, what they got was crickets, and worse, headlines. Not the good kind, not Disney. Celebrates record-breaking opening weekend. More like, what went wrong with Snow White? And did Rachel Zegler sink the ship before it even left the dock? It's the kind of bad press that lingers and keeps on giving long after the movies left theaters. This wasn't just a quiet underperformance, it was one of the studio's most embarrassing misses in recent memory. And for Ziegler, the actress, meant to carry the film on her back, it's a nightmare scenario. Because when a project tanks this hard, Hollywood doesn't just blame the script or the marketing. They start pointing fingers at the face on the poster. And let's not pretend we don't know why. This wasn't just a box office flop. It was a PR disaster from the jump. Ziegler didn't exactly help herself when she publicly trashed the original. 1937, Snow White as weird and outdated, mocking the fairy tale's romantic storyline and making it clear that she was above it all. Those comments didn't just alienate fans of the classic, they poured gasoline on the fire. Add to that her history of political hot takes during press junkets, and suddenly the conversation around the movie stopped being about the movie at all. Instead, it became about Rachel Ziegler, and not in the way Disney hoped. And trust me, industry insiders noticed. Jonah Platt, the son of Snow White producer Mark Platt, didn't even try to sugarcoat it. He called Ziegler out directly, blaming her combative interviews and divisive statements for the movie's failure to connect with audiences. According to Jonah, instead of leaning into the magic of the remake, Ziegler spent most of her press tour dragging the project through the mud. And in Hollywood, you can get away with a lot, but publicly trashing the product before it even hits theaters? The ripple effects from this mess are already being felt. Reports say Disney has quietly hit the brakes on their live-action Tangled remake. And let's be honest, it's not hard to connect the dots here. After the Snow White disaster, the last thing Disney wants is to gamble on another princess reboot with the same baggage attached. The message coming out of Burbank feels pretty clear. The Ziegler experiment didn't work, and now, instead of regrouping, Ziegler is allegedly doubling down, throwing a tantrum over the Simpsons episode like it's the root of all her problems. But here's the thing. This is the Simpsons we're talking about. They've taken aim at everyone from politicians to pop stars. Did she really think they'd just roll over and yank the episode because she asked nicely? The internet sure didn't think so. Social media lit up the second the story broke. Comment sections filled with users dragging Zegler for the move, calling her thin-skinned, entitled, and a total buzzkill. And honestly, it's hard to disagree. In a world where public figures get memed, parodied, and critiqued on the daily, demanding censorship just makes her look out of touch. Instead of laughing it off, or better yet, staying silent, she allegedly chose to make herself the story all over again. And not in a good way. At this point, it feels like Ziegler is spending more time fighting with the media than focusing on her craft. And in Hollywood, that's a dangerous game. You can have all the talent in the world, but if people don't like you, if they don't root for you, the offers stop coming in real fast. Studios want stars who can charm audiences, not alienate them. And right now, Ziegler's PR strategy looks like it was designed by her worst enemy. So here we are, yet another chapter in the ongoing saga of Rachel Zegler versus, well, pretty much everyone. First it was Disney fans, then the box office, now the Simpsons. And the scary part? Hollywood has a long memory when it comes to stars who make more headlines for drama than for actual work. There's always another fresh face ready to smile, wave, and play nice. Meanwhile, Ziegler's over here throwing legal threats at cartoons. It's honestly hard to watch, because this could have been her moment. Snow White was supposed to cement Zegler as Disney's golden girl, the next-gen princess who could carry the brand into the future. Instead, the whole thing's turned into a case study on how fast goodwill evaporates when a star lets ego get in the way. And the worst part? The more she lashes out, the worse it gets. Every new headline, every demand, every angry quote just keeps feeding the narrative that Zegler isn't cut out for the spotlight. Instead of taking the hit, owning the L, and focusing on her next move, she's out here trying to erase the punchline. But you can't cancel The Simpsons. And trying to, it just makes you look ridiculous. In this business, public perception is everything. And right now, Rachel Ziegler's biggest enemy isn't Fox. It's not The Simpsons. It's not even the fans. It's herself.